Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be going over how you can make this really cool subscribe button overlay in After Effects. So my After Effects is open, so let's create a new project. Let's create a new composition. I'm going to name it main. Main. And I'm going to have a width of 1920 by 1080, but you guys can choose whichever one you want. And I'm gonna choose a 60 FPS. So let's get started. Here is our composition. So we're going to start off by making a round rectangle. We're gonna go up here to the rectangle tool, long press, and select the rounded rectangle tool. And you're gonna create a rectangle that is about this big. Of course, you can choose whichever one you want. We're going to open up the layer, go into rectangle path, and change the roundness to something around 70, 75 is fine. And we're going to change the color by going over here. Make sure there's no stroke and the fill is selected. And I'm gonna choose a red color like this one. Yeah, I like that one. Then we're going to select the shape layer, go over to layer, transform, and center anchor point and layer content. So our anchor point goes into the center of the shape, and we're going to align it to the center of the composition. If you don't have your align panel open, just go to window and select align. Nice. So now we're going to create our text. We're going to do that by pressing Ctrl T on our keyboard or going over here to press the T. And I'm gonna put subscribe, and let's change the size a little, like that. And then we're gonna do the same thing, go to layer, transform, center anchor point, and we're going to align it to the middle. And I'm actually gonna make this a little smaller, like that. That's good. So now we're going to select both of them, and we're going to press pre-compose. Oh no. Yeah. No, we're not. Okay, so then we're going to pre-compose the shape layer. So don't select the text yet. And we're gonna press, I'm gonna name it VG just so it's easier for me. And just make sure move all attributes is selected. So we're gonna press that. And then what you're gonna do is we're going to open it up by double pressing it. So double press it, and now we're going to add kind of a background to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to select the ellipse tool. While holding shift, make a circle, and let's change the color to white. And now we're going to open this up. I'm going to rename this to rect, so I know that's the rectangle. So we're going to add a repeater. We're gonna open up the repeater, and we're going to open the transform repeater. I'm gonna untoggle the transparent background so that we know what's going on. And we're going to add more copies, and then we're gonna press add again and add another repeater. Go to transform repeater, and we're gonna put the position X as 0, and we're gonna change the Y to whatever you guys think is good. I like it like that. And then we're gonna add more copies. Cool. So then we're going to press P on our keyboard to change the position. We're going to click the stopwatch, the beginning, and then at the end, we're going to press it again. Still at the end, we're going to move it to the left and then up, like that. And then you see the dots are moving. So now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the rectangle. And then we're going to select alpha invert matte shape layer 2 for the one that's in the middle. And now basically what that does is it creates like holes. It cuts out the shape into the rectangle. So we're going to add an effect called brightness and contrast to the rectangle that's all the way at the bottom. And we're going to increase the brightness this way you can see the dots now, and that's really cool in my opinion. Alright, so now we're gonna go back into our main composition, and now as you can see, we have our subscribe button with the text and with the moving dots. It just adds like some really cool like elements into that. So we're gonna add an effect to the text called drop shadow. We're just gonna either drag it or double click, come a little closer, and we're going to change some stuff. Like, I think that looks fine. That looks cool. So now we're going to select both and we're going to pre-compose. Make sure that move all attributes into new composition is selected, and I'm going to name it sub final so that I know this is the final one. So now we're going to animate this. So we're going to select the layer, while pressing shift, press SR and P. SR and P to open up the position, scale, and rotation properties. And we're going to so select all of them and then press the stopwatch and then go a few frames forward, or like probably to like 1 second, and press this little diamond over here. And so now going into the beginning, we're going to scale it down a little bit, probably like 75, and I'm going to make the angle like 10, so the rotation, and we're going to position it up in the beginning. So now as you can see, that's how it goes in. So we're going to select all the layers, right click, keyframe assistant, and then easy ease. We're going to open up the graph editor by pressing this button over here, and make sure you're on speed and not value. And now we're going to select all of these, and we're going to press shift and move this over to the left. That way it's smooth. Although it could also look nice when we do it like this. It's all up to your preference. I like it moved over to the left instead to the right, like that. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the end of the composition, and we're going to copy the first set of keyframes, Control C, and then paste them to the end, Control V. And then we're going to select our second set of keyframes, Control C, and we're going to paste them in front, so like right here. That way, that's how it exits. However, I'm going to change some things. I'm going to change this to -10, and this one will go down instead of up. So it's going to leave like this. Alright, so we're going to select all of them, do the same thing, keyframe assistant, easy ease, and then we're going to go back and we're going to select it, and we're going to move it like that. Let me do this again. We're going to drag it to the right. There you go. And now it does that, and we're pretty much done. Now we're done with that. I'm gonna add something else. So the whole composition for me is 20 seconds. That is way too long. So I'm gonna go to composition settings, and I'm going to make it like 10 seconds. Okay, but before that, I have to go. So before I change that, I have to move these closer to here. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to composition settings, and I'm going to make it 10 seconds. Alright, so now that we have that, now we can move this to the end, and now it's shorter. Alright, cool. So around here, around like 5 seconds, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to press S to open my scale properties, and I'm going to press the diamond button over here to add a keyframe. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back, and I'm going to add a keyframe, and then go back to the middle keyframe and go 5 frames forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and add another keyframe there by pressing this diamond button. Then I'm gonna go into the middle keyframe, and I'm going to scale it down to about 85. So now we have this really nice click animation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the middle, this middle keyframe, put the current time indicator into on top of the middle keyframe, and we're gonna press Control Shift D to split it up basically. So now we have 2. So on the second segment of the clip, we're gonna add an effect called hue saturation. It's right here. We're gonna add that, and we're gonna press. We're just gonna mess with this master hue until we get another color that we want. I like that one. So now it does that. So it comes in, and then boom, you press it and it's another color, and then it goes out. So now we're going to select them both. We're going to pre-compose and make sure move all attributes to new composition, and this one are selected. Cool. So now what I like doing is adding like a little shake effect. So we're gonna press P to open up the position properties, and we're going to alt click the stopwatch, and I'm going to put in wiggle to 7, not 92, to 7. And basically what that does is it makes it shake around a little bit.